What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the YouTube Barber Academy. If you're watching this video, you might be on the fence between the Ergo or the Alpha. And you probably wonder, how does the Alpha compare to others in its price range, above it or below it? I'm gonna answer all that by the end of the video, but one other cool thing that you guys are gonna get today is I've included some audio from some of the other barbers in my shop that worked with it as well, so that you can get their opinions also. I'm calling this thing the Swiss Army knife of the clipper. Swiss Army knife of the clipper world. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. First thing, pre-orders do ship this September, and if this goes anything like the Ergo went, it's probably gonna sell out fast. In fact, the Ergo is still not filling orders until like October. So don't miss your chance on that. And of course, use my code Eddie for 10% off on any Gamma or Stylecraft products that you wanna purchase. This is a disclaimer, I am sponsored by Gamma. It doesn't mean that they pay me to say anything. They just send me a commission when you use my code, and you get a discount as well. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. What this does mean is they send me products to test and work through the process. And once we get something that's pretty good, or we feel like we've made some significant improvements, they then bring it to market. So it's fun to be a part of that process. Shout out to Gamma and Stylecraft for including me in that process, making me feel part of the team. You guys are really killing the game right now, and I'm happy to be a part of this thing. Now, a lot of companies give you some of the stuff that you'll find in this box, but one of the reasons I feel like Gamma is really pulling ahead is because they're delivering you a ton of value at a great price point. Black diamond blade, 0 gaps easy, 4-hour runtime. Mini USB charging, great for traveling outside of the country. Micro USB cord, also, just because it's not like you don't got enough of them. Magnetic guards, extra screws, which is great because I always lose a few. A stand, a loop, corded, cordless operations. You can use the wall guard system. You can also use the Andis guard system because the bracket has separate holes that actually fit for the Andis Masters blade. If you're like me and you travel a little bit with your clipper, I love using it on the stand when I'm at the shop, but when I actually leave, I want to grab and go. It's just so nice to know that I can charge it easy at home. Also, when I lend it to others to test it, I didn't have to give them anything but the clipper. It uses the wall guards, so most barbers have them as well, so it's great. A good example would be whenever I purchased a wall clipper, so many times it would have different stuff in the box. Sometimes it would have guards, sometimes it would skip a few guards and give me some guards, sometimes I would have the premium guards in there. But the boxing and the consistency were not quite uniform across the board with wall. That's not really the case with Gamma. There is a slight difference between the Stylecraft products and the Gamma products, and it's generally an aesthetic difference. However, when it comes to the case of the Alpha, there actually is one minor difference. With the Stylecraft Alpha, you have the clicks. You actually have 5 positions, which I find it makes it super easy to blend with. More on that later. With the Gamma version, you have a floating taper. However, you will get markings so that you can actually see exactly where you put it, just like the Andis Masters. You get a 4-hour runtime, and you get the ability to charge this with a micro USB from the back. I can't tell you what an advantage that is when you are traveling or when you are going somewhere, to know that you don't need to bring the stand and all this apparatus that's plugged in, everything. I like to leave the stuff on stands at my work, but when I leave and I take this with me, which I do frequently, it's nice to know that I can just charge this with a micro USB wherever I am. Also, when I lend it to other guys in the shop, I didn't have to go and unplug a bunch of stuff. I just handed this over. They were like, wait, what do I do to charge it? I said, dude, you got a micro USB. Oh, great idea. So it might seem like this is just a gimmick, but trust me, this is more than just a gimmick. This is a serious, convenient thing, and I really hope we see this across the board with other manufacturers. It actually comes with magnetic guards. However, I do still use the wall color guards, just a personal preference, and yes, all your wall guards will fit. But one of the reasons why I'm calling this a Swiss Army knife is if I was to take off this top blade, which I will, there's actually going to be 4 holes in the bracket. So what you actually have going on here is you have the ability to fit an Andis Masters blade on this. So if you look closely at this bracket, there's going to be 4 holes, and you're going to be able to put the Andis Masters blade on here, and you could use your double magnetics. If that's a system you're more comfortable with or you're more familiar with, then you're not going to have any problems. They're also including a nice little gold blade that will go nicely on that platform and work well with it. However, that's not my favorite way to work with this, especially once you've gotten this vapor blade. There'll be no need for you to want to do that. Although it's really nice that they're thinking and they're trying to innovate and give you different configurations where you don't see anybody else really doing stuff like this, where they're saying, hey, use another manufacturer's blades if you prefer it. It's cool. You know, you don't see other manufacturers working towards the greater good. They're always working towards their own good, which is why I love Gamma Stylecraft products. Damn, even the box is magnetic. Look, one thing that when people zero gap that they do tend to make a mistake with is the lateral movement of the blade. So what I actually like to do is, it's hitting my thumb a little bit harder than it's hitting my index finger. So I know laterally it's off a little bit. So I'm just gonna loosen this and I'm gonna slide it that way just some, and bam, we're gonna be in business. I actually usually like to turn it on before I lock it down, just to make sure that I'm close. Once I have it just right, I'll go ahead, I'll tighten it down, a little bit on each side, a little bit on each side. Yes, the blade zero gaps, it's a piece of cake. Unlike the 357 Magnum from Caliber, which was a nightmare to try to zero gap and I did not even succeed, this can actually remove skin lines with the quickness. Another cool thing that they're doing is they throw a few extra screws in the box. So if you lose your screws, you're not totally screwed, no pun intended. So you do get a stand. The stand's quite heavy, it's quite premium, and there's very little chance you're going to accidentally knock this over, which is quite nice. I've never really seen a company do this before. They put a little loop where you can actually hang this clipper. It's quite sturdy, and they also built a recess into the stand for it, so it makes it stay in the stand even better. It will work corded or cordless. You can actually plug it in while you work, although there's a pretty good chance you'll never need to. With this 4-hour runtime, I was easily cutting more than 15 to 16 people, and in some cases, I got even more. That's me using a detachable blade. That's the way that I work. Not all the clipper work was being done with the Alpha. Personally, I work with a detachable. I take care of all my bulk with that, and I'm generally using this clipper in most cases just to fade. The runtime. We really gotta highlight this. I really wanna hammer this home. The runtime is absolutely insane. I used it for an entire 2 days, never had to charge it. I gave it to Johan, and he used it for an entire day. You wanna hear what he had to say? All right, Johan, you've been working with the Alpha. I gave it to you all day yesterday, and I noticed that you never put it down.
Yeah, I mean, I got the chance to get one of these Ergos, and you know, I'm a magic clip type of guy. I have been. I don't really switch my clippers too much, and once I got this Ergo, amazing. But then Eddie, you know, gave me the Alpha, which is very comparable to the magic clip, which again, I love the magic clip. So to switch over to the Ergo, that was a big change. And then when I got these, it got just a little bit better, because if you notice how, you know, it's really, really thin right here. And then just one little click and you can really make a big difference with it. Compared to this, even if it's zero gap, you're gonna have a difference, but you really have to travel quite a bit versus this. This is like, it's gonna be my go-to clipper next to the Ergo. And then I think I'll probably bounce back and forth from the magic clip to this. Mainly this one, just a clipper over comb, but this is gonna be the all around, you know, my go-to clipper, hands down.
And as a matter of fact, I wanna highlight the fact that Johan is one of those guys that I've had him testing off a lot of stuff over the years, and almost every time I would see him going back to his favorite clipper, which at the time was the magic clip. Now I think his favorite clipper's been the Ergo, and I was glancing at him throughout the day when I gave him the Alpha, and I noticed he never touched the Ergo once. He continued to use the Alpha. And then, to add further surprise, when I took the Alpha back, he was like withdrawing, and he came over and actually borrowed it to remove a skin line. That tells me there's definitely something special about this clipper. Now, if you compare the price point between the Magic Clips and the Absolute Alpha, they're actually about the same. I've looked them up on Amazon. I found them for about $129, and that's what they sell this for. And if you use my discount, you'll get a little discount from that. But they're about the same in price. However, I feel like the value you receive for the Alpha is so much higher than what you're getting from the wall. Barber did a review on this also, and I remember him saying the lever was flimsy. I'm thinking maybe he had the other version or something like this, but maybe they've improved it. But this lever is actually pretty sturdy. It's not metal or anything, but it's definitely a pretty stout piece of plastic. So in fact, initially when I set this up on my station, I used the stand. But when I figured out it lasted as long as it did, I thought, why even keep the stand on my station? I don't even plug this thing in at all during the day. I have a micro USB on my station just in case a client wanted to charge his phone or something else. So I actually just put that in there at night and plug it in. So I've not really found myself using the stand. However, I do use the stand a lot at home when I go live on Saturday night. I like to have it with me so that I can show it off. And of course, you're gonna get a couple other lids so you can kind of differentiate this however you see fit. The bracket situation is super cool and innovative. If you feel like using the Andis purple guards, the double magnetics, you can certainly do that. You can put a master's blade on it, and they even include a great cutting blade that goes along with that that goes along with that master's blade that you can actually cut a little bit smoother than if you were to use the regular blade. In my opinion, the master's blade mod is all well and good until you meet the fusion blade. Now the fusion blade is definitely something we're gonna spend a little bit of time on. This is a really strange new wave that we're into here. And for those of you guys who've been watching the lives, you know I've been talking about this blade a lot. I'm still scratching my head trying to figure out how or why this is happening, but it is just one of those things that I can't explain. Also, I think it lifts up the hair and stands it into position a little bit better. Now, I will say this, if you're comparing the Ergo to the Alpha, we're gonna get there in a second. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that these long lines run all the way down this blade, and when I apply more pressure to this blade, it seems like it actually does cut closer, which gives me a little bit more flexibility. If I need to push a little bit harder, I can get that line out a little bit easier, and I've noticed that it just seems to zero gap effortlessly, and it can remove the skin line, but it can also set the skin line in good enough so that you can actually come back with your wireless Prodigy shaver right underneath it without an issue. But it might still be good to use a detachable clipper so that you're not beating up your good equipment. That's just my opinion. However, if you only had one clipper, the Swiss Army knife will do it. This blade, when I had it on my Ergo, it was fantastic. And when I put this blade on the Alpha, it felt like it was definitely even a little bit better. And the fact that I knew that this blade was on here and the normal blade was on my Ergo, it definitely made me want to gravitate towards the Alpha just a little bit more. Let me show you what I mean. I passed this clipper around my shop and I asked the guys what they thought.
Hey Chad, you worked with the Alpha. You've done a couple haircuts with it. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a great clipper. You know, the weight of it's really nice. It's a really nice looking clipper. This motor runs, you don't hear different power or losing power, which drives me crazy. I just say it's all around, it's a great clipper, man.
Well, all right. Would you pick Ergo or Alpha?
To be honest with you, I mean, I've only done a few cuts with this thing, and I just gotta say I really like the Ergos right now. I just like the way, I think what it really boils down to for me is ergonomically. I just like the way it fits in my hands with the Ergos. And there's just something there. It's just like I just find myself grabbing that clipper, you know, always using that Ergo. Like I want that, I prefer that in my hands. I use it all the time. It's like my go-to clipper. I'm not saying that this is a bad clipper. I just feel like the Ergos is just what I prefer as far as like cutting.
Perfect.
What's up, Boston? Oh, you're good. You're good. You're on camera. I got two questions. I got them right here. All right. So,
come with the Alpha or buy separate. So for now, the Vapor, as you call it, or we call it the Fusion Blade, will be separate. It's not out yet. We're probably looking at about 3 or 4 months, and you'll be able to get that separately.
Okay, so they buy that separately, and it's going to come with the normal Black Diamond blade then?
It comes with the Black Diamond shallow tooth cutting blade, the same cutting blade that comes on the Ergo. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
And they'll be able to buy the Fusion or Vapor blade in like 3 months?
Yeah, I say about 3 months. It's already been ordered, so now we just got to get them in. But guess what I'm sitting with right in front of me now is the ceramic trimmer blade. So that is here.
Oh, really? So they can have the ceramic trimmer blades for the absolute hitter?
Exactly, yep.
Oh, that's cool.
So
that's cool.
We got to get it up on the website still, but they are here. So in the next week, they'll be up and live.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So is the Ergo still sold out, and when does it ship again?
Yes, Ergo is sold out until October.
So it doesn't ship again until October?
Right, but you might be able to find it at your local distributor or online, not through Gamma, but some other sites may still have a couple left.
And then the last question is, the pre-orders will ship in September for the Alpha, right?
Pre-orders are shipping this week.
Oh, yeah, they're already shipping.
Alpha and Prodigy, just Prodigy came in Friday, Alpha came in today, so everything's going out this week. They are here.
Cool, cool. All right, so by the time this drops, you guys will already be able to order them. Perfect.
Yeah, well, but we already sold out of the Prodigy and the Alpha, but we were keeping a little bit of reserve inventory for online orders. So hopefully we can get another couple weeks of online orders. So we're technically sold out, but we held back some of our distributors to fill a couple more online orders.
Smart move.
But the SC Alpha is fully sold out, unfortunately, on our website. That one was just so oversold you couldn't even hold any back.
And while I got you, I'll just ask that the only real difference other than the lids is the click versus floating taper.
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, cool. We already covered that. We're good.
All right.
All right, my friend. We're good. I got everything I need. Hopefully I can get this up soon.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Hit me up later.
Yes, sir, man. You heard it straight from the horse's mouth. The Fusion Blade is going to be a separate item. You're going to be able to purchase it 3 months later, and I think it would be a real smart move to definitely do that because it really brings out the best in this clipper. Another clipper you could compare this to would be the Wahl Senior Cordless, which cost around $180 on Amazon, and I don't really understand why you would spend that extra money versus the Magic Clip. I don't see a whole lot of value in that, and in fact, I believe the runtime went down to only 80 minutes for some reason with that. And obviously I have the Wahl 1919 as well. And the truth is, I don't touch any of them. I've found that this is better, lasts longer, cuts smoother, and removes skin lines easier for me personally. So I feel like you're getting a lot more value for your money when you go with the Alpha. Just the micro USB, 4-hour runtime, lanyard, stand. It's just different lids, compatibility with the Andis clipper without spending any additional money. Your $130 is really doing you well. So I really don't think there's anything that can compare on value with it. Now, if you just like the shape or the feel of something, I get it. There is cases with that. But with that being said, there is these nice little bumps along the back that do make this a pleasure to hold. And on the top, if you're a Magic Clip guy, you probably love that little impression where your thumb would go. And they actually have something kind of like that. It's not quite as deep, but they do have something for your thumb to kind of play with while you cut. So ergonomically speaking, I would actually put them probably about in the same realm as the Magic Clip as well. So to come up with some negatives, I'd really have to nitpick a little bit, but I'll give it a try, all right? I didn't even really notice this until Johan brought it up, but he said that it was really loud, the clicks. They are a little loud. They definitely let you know that you've made a change. Your client knows too. So if that's something that bothers you, I really don't think it will, but that's definitely something that can be said. And I don't know if there's anything you could do to quiet it down. Maybe if I filed that down a little bit, it would get a little quieter, but that is not a concern for me. But yeah, it's definitely a little loud when it clicks. It is pretty light, and I don't really know if this is a negative or not, but it's definitely a little lighter than the Magic Clip. And I think a lot of you guys will pick up a clipper, you'll feel its weight, and you'll judge its quality based on weight. That really isn't the case anymore with lithium batteries. There's no need to make this heavier than it needs to be. In my mind, it's perfectly fine, but some people might pick it up and think that it's a little light. Even though it has a supercharged rotary motor that delivers great consistent power, it still might not be as strong as your detachable. I'm not sure if this is a negative either, but there is no one clipper that can do it all. I still think it makes sense to work with a detachable and use this for blending in most cases, and you're really gonna find yourself enjoying it. And the only other negative that I could think of would be this clipper is not quite as forgiving as the Ergo. What do I mean by that? The Ergo seems to cut a little bit slower. So when you accidentally push into those higher lengths, when you're fading, if you make a little mistake, the Ergo doesn't cut quite as quick. However, this has a supercharged rotary motor. That hair is just gonna disappear. So as long as you understand your process and you're being careful, you're probably not gonna have any trouble with it. But I just wanna make you aware of it, that this is not quite as forgiving as the Ergo. Now to answer the question I've been getting since I started using the Alpha. What do you think, Ed? Do you like the Alpha over the Ergo? Should I go with Ergo or should I go with Alpha? Well, it's not gonna be easy to answer this because they're both such great clippers and they both bring so much to the table. However, let's give it a try. If I could only have one clipper between the Ergo or the Alpha, I would tell you to pick the Alpha based on value alone. It can handle any and all situations you might need it for. And in versatility in charging and 4-hour runtime, you're gonna be beyond satisfied. Does this mean I'm gonna retire my Ergo? Hell no. In a perfect world, I will use this to remove all my skin lines, do some of my debulking work, some clipper over comb, and some blending, but I will do a lot of my finishing work with my Ergo. So I definitely am not looking to get rid of my Ergo by any means. It still has a place for me, but as you guys can see, this is the Swiss Army knife of clippers, and I actually think this is probably the closest a company has came to creating a clipper that can do it all. And I'd like to remind you before I go that these clippers sell out super fast, so if you got a chance to get your pre-order in, that's great, but you might have to wait for the second round again. But you know, I hope that you guys can get them, because like I said, the Ergos are backed up till October, and I'm sure these are going to be backed up as well, because they're just such great clippers. And once a few more YouTubers get their hands on them, everybody else is going to start to see that, yeah, this is definitely excellent value for the money. They probably could be getting another $50 for these clippers, and I wouldn't even bat an eye at paying for it. So once again, use code Eddie for 10% off on both Gamma and Stylecraft products. Shout out to Gamma and Stylecraft for putting me on the team. It is just so exciting to be using new and innovative products and helping with the process to work out some of the kinks and the bugs, and just making sure that we get a really cool clipper to market, which is definitely why I stand with them 100%. All right, you guys, this is the YouTube Barber Academy. I'm Mr. Eddie Barber, and I'll catch you guys in one of my lives on Saturday night or on my next upload. Peace.
Yo, Ed, man, we just got this in the mail day. I'm super excited to see what we got in here.
It says YouTube Barber Academy right out the box.
Gamma.
What do we got? We got a lot of stuff.
Boom.
Oh, yeah. We have a prototype version of the Evo. How freaking cool is this? All right, let's listen to it. Wow. This thing feels like it's got some heat. What are the charging options? Yes. Micro USB. So that's great. And we got a little stand too. We don't got no packaging yet, but
It's all right.
we got the little stand.
As long as we got power,
Evo, power,
good to go.
and a couple other little things. So, okay, so the other thing too is I already know I'm going to take their Ultimate blade and I'm going to put it on the Evo, and we're going to see what we get, man. Supposedly going to get the ceramic blades are done, and they're all made for the hitters and for this now. So they're going to send me the ceramic blade for that too. So, let's see what they did. All right. I thought they were going to.
You should see what these hit like before you put these on, just to know the difference.
I'll go back when I'm done. These things feel like they just got some heat.
Cool. Here, put a part in my head real quick.
Feels pretty good, dude. If I do that, then I gotta sleep. It's alright.
No worries.
I'll wait till tomorrow. But yeah, man, I'm really excited to use this thing.
It's a little bit longer.
Yeah,
A little bit longer.
Let's get some close-ups of these two. Definitely a little bit longer.
A little bit heavier.
The back's got some texture on it, so a little better grip. Both got the micro USBs for charging. That's great. Wonder if they both use the same charger. Don't know yet. And we're gonna put this Ultimate blade.
It's gotta be on the same charger, because this even charges on the same type of.
They're like the Swiss Army knife, that's what I call them. Just like a few. Now I gotta add this to it.